Hey guys, Andy here. So one thing that I think gets overlooked by sort of young and up and coming YouTubers, I suppose you could call us. Well, I don't know if I'm up and coming anymore, or young either for that matter. Either way, you perhaps hopefully know what I mean. Is audio. So you might spend a lot of money on a really nice camera, but quite often the microphones aren't that good. And I've been through, I think, 3 or 4 different mics, which tend to have different strengths. Like the best sound I think that I've ever had was the Rode NT1. I did do a review. It's a desktop mic, but that's the problem, it's desktop and it would be in the way and it just didn't really suit me. I didn't like it, so I switched to a shotgun mic that sits on top of the camera. I've also tried like wireless lav mics, but they're a little fiddly. And then someone pointed out the bargain of these Ulanzi AM18s. And I think I got this for less than £70. It took 2 or 3 weeks to come. But for sort of mics, that's quite a good price. So could be a good option for people. So I figured, well, let's do a video. Let's put it to test. Let's try some different scenarios and see how they sound. So let's start talking about kind of the design. They come in a case, which is a charging case. If I sort of flip the lid briefly, you'll see the power in the case is showed with the LEDs on the front there, and the case itself is USB-C chargeable. When we flip the lid, we can see the actual hardware, the devices. There's 2 microphones or transmitters, and there's 1 receiver. As the lid's been lifted, you can see the screen on the receiver has jumped into life and it shows us the battery life. That screen is actually touch screen operable, so I've been able to change the date and things using the touch screen, but I've not really used the receiver much. So the receiver has a little clip, so you could clip it on somewhere if you're transmitting it or connecting it to a phone or something. You can clip that to your back pocket, or that little slide bit will slide into a hot shoe of a camera. You also get some sticky pads which will pad out to make it thicker, to make it a firmer fit. I'm really worried about it because my camera just sits there stationary. I can just slide it in and leave it. You get different cables to connect the receiver with whatever camera or phone or whatever. You also get 2 dead cats which really easily just clip into the top of the microphones. And they're just to stop wind noise basically, which we're going to come to in a little while. The units themselves, the microphone is on the top, and that's where you clip in the dead cat. You've got a few buttons on the side for gain adjustment. I've noticed if I'm recording locally, which I'm going to explain in a second, I want the gain up a little bit. If I'm sending it to the receiver, I need to turn the gain down a little bit. And gain just kind of really just changes how sensitive the microphone is, I think. We've got a power button on one side, we've got a record button on the other, we've got a USB-C port. And I think the clip on the top was for earphones, if you wanted to be able to hear what you're saying as well. So what we're going to do, I'm going to press record on the one side. You can see a little red light, hopefully, is lit up on the top there. So that's recording locally, that's recording onto the microphone. So I'm now going to clip this onto my t-shirt. Don't worry about it being under fabrics. I've worn them under fabrics and actually they sound almost better. So the audio's recording locally onto the microphone. It's recording on the camera that's recording the video. And then when I've taken the audio and the video, and I can sync them up using the audio from the video and the audio from the audio, if that makes sense. And then you can flip between the 2. And I think you'll agree that it sounds really good actually. So this is not a cheap microphone that I'm using on the Lumix. Well, it's a Rode, Lumix is my camera, sorry. So Rode shotgun mic on the top, but it actually sounds a little bit tinny when compared to this. Obviously I can't hear literally what the audio sounds like now, but in tests that I did previously, that was the impression I got. I'm assuming it's going to sound the same when we do this. But let's go outside and get some scenarios where we can also compare. So I was out walking, I was in the woods, I recorded on my Pixel 8 and I recorded on the microphone. So let's hear the Pixel 8 and how that sounds. So I'm outside, I'm in sort of like a field, foresty bit of field. Got the microphone with the dead catch under my coat. And then let's hear the same little bit, but through the Ulanzi AM18.
So I'm outside, I'm in sort of like a field, foresty bit of field. Got the microphone with the dead catch under my coat.
So I think the Ulanzi sounds really good. Actually, the Pixel sounds pretty good, to be fair to it. It's almost too sensitive. There's a lot of extra noise going on, whereas the wireless mic can concentrate more on your voice. But I'm going to move on quickly to the cycling video, because I think that's where you really kind of go, wow. And it gets me kind of excited a little bit of what opportunities there could be. So I'm out cycling, recording locally again, recording on my GoPro 10 Black. So let's hear the GoPro's original audio.
So, as you can see, I've got it clipped to my shirt with the dead cat on. I'm filming on the GoPro Black 10 Black, so that we can tell the difference. It's quite windy.
And then this is the Ulanzi that you're about to hear, and I promise I've not done anything in post. This is just going to be how it recorded.
So, as you can see, I've got it clipped to my shirt with the dead cat on. I'm filming on the GoPro Black 10 Black, so that we can tell the difference. It's quite windy.
I think that's really impressive. No, I mean, there's just no wind noise. That's with the dead cat on, as you could see. But I don't know, I just think that's really impressive, and it just makes me, oh wow, if I'm out recording with the GoPro, definitely I want to just have this tucked in my back shirt. I can just put it out, start recording, clip it on, and then sync it up afterwards. It sounds so much better. So there are other options other than the Ulanzi. If you want to go to the very expensive side of things, I think DJI do a similar setup for about 220. I think Rode do one. I wasn't aware of this, but when I was doing a little bit of quick Googling, I think they've got one for about 120. That interests me because Rode do some really good mics, and 120 isn't crazy money. But at the same time, if you can get these for 70, and that is an offer price, but I got the impression they're on offer quite often. I don't think you can go too far wrong, really. So there you go. You've heard them. Let me know in the comments your thoughts. But for now, my name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon.